Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the MLS Journeyman with Zebu Nation. And we're, of course, back with Inter Miami, and we have reached the mid-season review. Today, we'll be playing our 17th game of the 2021 season, and after that, there will be 17 games to go. So once we look in and see how things are going with our team and with the league, we should have a pretty good handle on where we're at, what's going down, all of that business. And speaking of business, why don't we start with the business end of things, and we'll do a little roundup here before we get to the results and that kind of thing. So let's start off with the finances. And finances are pretty fine, as are most seasons with most MLS teams. Bank balance is fine, $15 million. Now, usually expansion teams have a little bit of problem with their budget at the beginning. You know, when they first get in the league, they have maybe like $3 or $4 million in the bank if they're lucky. But Inter Miami started with a little bit more than that, so they haven't really had any financial problems, at least as far as I can tell. So we're fine, $15 million in the bank. We got $1.5 million transfer budget still left. Our original budget was $4.25, so we have spent some transfer budget this year. Payroll is still no problems whatsoever. $26 million payroll, of which we're currently spending $8.3. So, you know, we got a lot of room there if the board would ever let us spend any of that money, but they won't. So, I don't know. Anyway, our scouting budget is fine, $223,000. League specific, we're looking pretty good. Salary cap, we're $1.1 million under the salary cap. It says we got $902,000 remaining, so I guess I'll take their word for that. You know, my just eyeball math. Yeah, I guess that's pretty close. Anyway, why would I trust my eyeball math over like real computer math? I have no idea, but you know, that's the state that I live in. Anyway, general allocation money, we're fine, $4.8 million right now, but that's a little low considering we started the season with $7.25, so we've been pretty generous with our allocation money. I have been lowering our salary cap number just to sort of see if we could fit one more big-time player underneath the cap, and it hasn't really materialized, unfortunately. So we have, you know, maybe wasted a little bit of allocation money in that effort, but it was for science, I guess, so money well spent. Targeted allocation money, we have none available. I think I traded it all away for whatever. $1.2 million is gone. I don't really know where it went. I don't remember trading it away. Maybe the general manager spent it somehow, but anyway, it's all gone. He bought himself a nice yacht or something. But yeah, we're fine financially. No problems. Club vision-wise, you know, it's not bad. We got an A+. I'd say that's pretty good. The board, to summarize, they feel like you're doing an unbelievable job, clearly putting smile on the face of every single supporter. Long may it last. Long may he reign. Notable highlights. Delighted with the Supporter Shield performance. There's a little hint of things to come. Pleased with the 4-0 victory over Chicago. Happy with Villalba's recent performance. Disappointed with Miami's 1-0 loss to New England. Okay, still concerned about that New York City trade, which I don't understand. And still concerned about the Philadelphia trade, whatever that may or may not be. I don't recall the Philadelphia trade. We'll look at that in a second. But, you know, they're still devastated about our failure to sign any high-reputation players. Still undecided about the youth situation. They're, of course, happy about the bottom of the league situation, which we are far from. And we haven't started the U.S. Cup yet, but we do have a little bit of U.S. Cup news coming up. Let's see. Let's start with, let's next go to transfers, if we can remember the order in which things happen. So let's go. Transfers. Let's start with trades, because trades are where things have been interesting of late. We've been trading players away because basically, why not? Honestly. So what we did is we've been trading away some of our reserves. So basically what we do is we bring up a reserve, we play him in the starting lineup for 2 or 3 games, and then a team will come and offer their first-round draft pick for him. It's magic. I'm not sure exactly what's going on, but it's magic that has been happening. So it happened to Nico de Vera, guy we picked up in the offseason, and Minnesota came calling, and they gave us 2 first-round picks for Nico de Vera. And I said, that's fine. We shall do that. No problem. 24 years old. I mean, he's okay. You know, he was a capable backup, but he's not going to be a starter over our team captain. And he was complaining about playing time. So you know what? Get out. We'll take 2 first-round draft picks in 2023 for your services. Thank you very much. And likewise, Sander Comfort came in, played a couple of good games out there at left wing. San Jose came calling for a first-round pick and an international slot. We said thank you very much. And, because we had a little bit of a hole at reserve fullback, look who was available. Nuhu Tolo, our old pal. We were able to get him plus $400K in allocation money for an international slot. Fine, we'll take that, no problems. And then, remember a little while ago we traded away George Acosta? Well, the game after we played against him, we traded him to Philadelphia. He played against us last game, and then Philadelphia just waived him, like, get out. I guess they did not like that loss. I think they blamed him specifically. Maybe he wasn't giving them our game plan or something. Maybe he refused to give up our team secrets, and so they cut him, they waived him, and we picked him up on waivers for free. So that's an excellent deal right there. What did we get for him? Let me see here. So George Acosta, we gave up international slot and George Acosta for a first-round pick and $425K in allocation money, and then we got George Acosta back. So I'd say that's a pretty good deal. For an international slot, we got a first-round draft pick and $425K. I think I'll take that. So there's been some interesting moves there in the trading circuit, some back and forth. So, we've got some room on the roster now. We can pick up some guys here and there, but we do have these 3 17-year-olds coming in. One of them's coming in this year. Matthias Sabalos is coming in this year. So we had to make a little room on the roster for him. That's fine. We got some guys in Inter Miami too that we could bring up. So really, no problems. We haven't made any trades for our first team players. I wanted to keep those guys. They're playing well. They're playing together. So we're going to keep them, keep them together. Why not? All right, schedule. You can see, let's see, where is that? There's that Philadelphia game. After Ajax, we beat Philadelphia 1-0. And then we got Acosta back. After that, we suffered a loss to New England, 1-0. That's the game that our board is unhappy about. Probably should have beat New England, but they got up, and we just couldn't do anything after they got up early. Well, it wasn't even that early. It was the second half, 54th minute. So I don't really know what happened. New England just they played the 4-4-2 defensive. And maybe that's what you have to do when you play against our team, is just play defensive, hold out, get a goal, and then turtle up, and there's not much we can do. Because if a team comes out and challenges us, then, we can do our thing. We can press, we can tackle, we can do all that stuff, and we can win. Like we did against Philadelphia. Oh, we had a draw against DC United. That one was also a little bit disappointing. So a 2-game winless streak, first one of the nation, first one of the season, I mean. This is when we were actually able to come back and tie it up. Leerdam scored a goal on us in the 37th minute, and then Hajdarevic came back in the 55th and tied it up. So it's one of the few times in the regular season that we've been able to actually come back and salvage something after getting down early. So is that a good sign? Maybe. It's Nico de Vera's last game. So here's their opening goal. Keegan Rosenberry drops it off to Areola, and then Leerdam just blasts it in. And that was a great shot. Our defense could have been a little tighter there. Here's Comfort. Also, his last game coming down the sideline. He's a bit injured. I was surprised they came in for him. Great cross, though. And that's the cross that got us a first-round draft pick. So, hallelujah. I was a bit surprised that they came in for him because he was injured when they asked to trade. So I thought maybe the trade wouldn't go through because he was injured. He was only injured for like a few days, but still, it was like weird timing where as soon as he gets injured, we get a bid for him. That was a little odd. Then we came back, beat Philadelphia 3-0. Is this the game where they cut? Let's see. Did they cut him after this game or before this game? Fabian Leo Shabilko. Yeah, he's not on the team there. Did we play him? Or had we not picked him up yet at that point? You know, it takes like a week or two for a guy to clear waivers. And you can pick him. Well, not, you know. First, you have to put a bid in and say, we want this guy. And then you wait for a while. And then they give him to you. So I don't think we had him at that point. But anyway, we got up early. Carranza in the first minute and the 25th minute. Hajdarevic with another goal in the 12th minute. So we just sort of dominated that game start to finish. And then Columbus, our last game, 1-0. So, you know, these games are starting to get a little closer. You see, in our last 4 games, we had a loss, a draw, a 1-goal win, and a 2-goal win. This time again, Carranza in the 5th minute. So this time we scored early, and then we sort of took the air out of the ball, just played possession style. And they were playing defensive. That's another thing. Like, if we get the first goal and the other team is playing defensive, then they've got no chance at all because we'll just hold on to the ball, and they got, you know, nothing they can do about it. We have 53% possession, 19 shots to 4, you know, just utter domination. So it's an interesting season. I don't think I've had a season like this in a while. Certainly not the first season that I've taken over a team where it just seems like we're dominating a lot of games. And, you know, we do have some few losses this year, but pretty good. We can take a look at the competition as a whole. You can see we're still in second place, but we've closed the gap with Atlanta United. We're now only 1 game back, so when we play our 17th game today, the standings will look even better than they are today, hopefully. But we're only down by 4 points, so that's pretty good. After 16 games, we got 11 wins, 1 draw, 4 losses, plus 24 goal differential, which is second best in the league only to Atlanta United, which has a plus 25 goal differential. And the rest of the league is far behind that. The next closest is Minnesota with a plus 11. So it's kind of shaping up like Inter Miami and Atlanta are the 2 best teams in the league, at least. To me, I think the goal differential is a big sign of who's a dominant team. You know, you can scrape by and you can win a few games, and, you know, just by luck of scheduling, or, you know, maybe the teams you face get injured or this or that. So, you know, things can happen and can improve your record. But if you've got a monster goal differential like that, it just shows that you're dominating a lot of teams, and you've got some pretty good ability and some pretty good tactics. I think we've got those. So we'll look at the stats after today's game. Oh, there was one other thing I wanted to mention on the schedule, which was the U.S. Cup over here. We have, of course, been drawn against Orlando City. So the U.S. Cup is a fairly regional competition. They like to put teams who are close to each other together and match them up. So we'll probably be seeing Orlando City quite a bit in future U.S. Cups. It'll probably be our first round matchup many, many times in the future. So we'll see how that goes. Take a look at some of the other pairings. Atlanta United versus New York City, Minnesota, Tampa Bay. So Tampa Bay is one of those teams that came up from the lower leagues. You know, they won in the first couple of rounds. Same with Madison's a very small team. North Carolina is a smaller team, but they're, you know, for lower division, they're pretty good. Same with Tampa Bay. Both those clubs are very good lower division teams. LA Galaxy, LAFC. Colorado getting Houston. That's an interesting one. Normally, it's Houston versus Dallas. So, what's Dallas? Did Dallas get knocked out? No, there's Dallas. They're going to be playing Madison. Okay, interesting matchups there. Portland, Cincinnati, Philadelphia, Seattle. So they've mixed up a lot of pairings. That's very interesting. Oklahoma City and Reno, Louisville, New Mexico. That's a lower division lineup. Fourth round, there's still a ways to go in the cup, so we'll see if these matchups even out. Do we have like a, is there a tree? There is a tree. Love it. Love a tournament tree. There's nothing better in sports than a tournament tree. So let's see. We get the winner of Houston, Colorado next. If they stick to this tree, I don't know if they do. I really dislike competitions that don't stick to the tree, but I can see why they do it. You know, they do it to, you know, bolster competitions, especially in a big nationwide tournament like this. They need to keep things local so the small teams have a chance and they don't have to travel all over the country. But it seems like they've sort of gone away from that here anyway, so I don't know. I have no idea what's going on with the U.S. Cup this year. It seems different. It feels different. Maybe because we're entering in this round, you know, in the fourth round when we usually enter in the fifth round. Is that a possibility? Have they restructured the U.S. Cup? And I don't know about it. Possibly because I don't really keep track of those kind of things. Anyway, that's the U.S. Cup. Oh, the other thing the U.S. Cup has done to us specifically is it's changed our schedule. So as you recall, we were supposed to have back-to-back games versus Atlanta United coming up and 3 games against them overall. But something has happened to the schedule. They've rescheduled those Atlanta United games. So we no longer have that back-to-back series in here. And now we're only playing Atlanta United twice. I don't know how that's happened. I never recall seeing such a drastic change to a schedule before. I mean, I'm not crazy, right? We were playing 3 Atlanta United games last time I looked at the schedule. I even went back to the tape. I checked the tape, and we were playing Atlanta United 3 times, including a back-to-back. And they've rescheduled. So now we only have, you know, because they put that Orlando City game in that time slot, and now we've lost a game against Atlanta United. I mean, I'm not too sad about that because playing Atlanta United twice is enough. But, you know, it's just weird. I've never seen it before. This doesn't count as an MLS game, I'm pretty sure. So I don't know who they added to our schedule. I didn't check the schedule that closely to say who did they add. You know, did they add like another game versus Orlando? Or, I don't know. It's wild. It's wacky. It's MLS. What do you expect? Let's get to today's matchups, and then we'll look, at the end of the video, we'll look at the stats and stuff. So, here we are. Toronto FC. I wish they would give the league rankings here. Do they? Oh, there it is, league position. Another thing I've failed to notice in my whole FM career. Anyway, we're second. They're fourth in, I assume this is the Eastern Conference. We are 4-5 favorites. It's interesting odds. Almost 50-50. Not quite. Or 1-1, however you want to say it. So, I honestly don't know. Does that mean we're big favorites or small favorites? 2-1 odds for a draw, 3-1 against Toronto. So I would think that means we're big favorites. I still have no idea how these work. I don't know why I always point them out, but I just think they're fun to point out because people like to bet on sports, and there you go. Anyway, we've played Toronto twice. They've won one and drawn once. This is kind of a theme that we've got against all these teams we play against, is we haven't beaten anybody. It's kind of weird. I guess the last 2 seasons before I got here have not been very good. So, they are missing one of their big players. Pozzello is out with a pulled knee ligament. That's no good. We've got one guy ineligible. Tommy Redding. Who the heck is that? Oh, central defender. Yeah, he's ineligible. He's on the disabled list. Get out. All right. Coach. Aitor Karanka. The heck is this guy? Coming over from Nottingham Forest. 47-year-old Spaniard. Interesting. Prior to that, he was at Middlesbrough. Then assistant coach, Real Madrid. Under 18s coach for Spain. So this guy's got a pretty good reputation. Oh, there's that Nottingham. I mean, I don't want to offend any Nottingham Forest fans. But that logo, whenever I see the logo shrunken down, it doesn't look like a tree. That's all I'm going to tell you. Anyway, Toronto FC, been there this season. It's his first season. And he's doing okay, I suppose. 4th place isn't too bad, but he's an excellent coach. Another defensive coach. A lot of defensive style coaches here in MLS. But, I mean, he's very technical all around. So he could do, he could coach him up in a lot of different positions. He might need to find himself an attacking coach, but other than that, he's pretty good. He's not great at working with youngsters, but Toronto FC doesn't really have a lot of youngsters on their roster right now. But yeah, he's a very good coach. We'll see what he's all about. Does he have like an actual history? What's his overview? Games played, 9. Games won, 5. That's odd. Seems like he should have more games played than that. When did he get here? What's his biography look like? Let's see. Yeah, born in 1973. It's fine. La la la. April of 2021. So he just came here last month. Wait a minute. Did TFC fire their coach? Why are we looking at all this? Let's see. Head coaches. I don't know. I'm down the rabbit hole at this point. Yep. Ron Yan got sacked to 232 days. They had an interim coach for 9 days, and Karanka's been on the job for 49 days. All right. So, good for him. We'll see what he can do with only 49 days on the job. That's still a decent amount of the season. I guess it's 9 games. But, he's probably still working out some kinks there. He probably still hasn't implemented his systems and whatnot fully. So we'll see if we can take advantage of that. We do have Hector Villalba. He's back. He's been injured. As you've probably seen, many games he's been injured, but he's back now. He's not quite fit, unfortunately. But, it's good to have him back in the lineup. We can move some of our other players back to their regular positions. We have started to form some bonds on the team. Of course, we got our central defense pairing here, Trusty and Birnbaum. Been the rocks in the rock solid in central defense all season. They formed a good partnership. Mendez and Louis Philippe, they've also played together many, many games. I think they've been together just about every game except maybe 1 or 2. And they formed a strong partnership. And then we have sort of a tentative partnership out here on the wing with Martins and Pellegrini. So the youngster has got a bit of a bond with our team captain. Let's submit the team. Let's get going. Can we submit the team? I feel like I clicked it, but anyway, there we go. Villalba, he's back. He's I want to say healthy. We kept him out an extra week. Just to make sure. Okay. What is this formation? This is sort of a defensive 4-2-3-1. Are they having like 2 defensive midfielders? Is that what's happening here? Look at that. Michael Bradley's back. He was injured for a while, but he's back in the lineup. Latif Blessing at right wing, or right fullback. That's interesting. Their top goal scorer. Okay, it's bold. I guess you bring in a new coach. He's got new ideas. Let's put Latif Blessing at right fullback. Okay. They do have Gallardo out on the right-hand side. He's got 1 goal, 1 assist. 24-year-old from Venezuela. Okay. Agudelo in the midfield. Osario. Marky Delgado. I'm all over the lineup. Who's in goal here? Gleason. Okay. And Ricardo Oliveira up top. How many goals has he got? 1 goal So, yeah, their leading goal scorer is at fullback. Okay. I love it. I like it. Meanwhile, we've got our starting lineup. What can I say? Johnson in goal, Martins and Moore at the fullback positions, Trusty and Birnbaum central defense, Felipe, Mendez in the midfield, Pellegrini on the left, Villalba on the right, Reina in the middle, and Carranza up top, our leading goal scorer, with 11 goals in 16 starts. Pretty good. Pretty good for a youngster who we weren't sure was going to be our starting attacker, and turns out he's done a fine job. Gallardo's one of the best dribblers in the MLS. How do you plan on stop him? We'll give him a bib. I don't know. We're going to have to play him close. Villalba has been pulling all the strings in midfield lately. Has he, though? Has he? I mean, he just came back from injury, but it's always good to rely on a midfielder, I suppose. Who is this? Shauna Miranda from the American Soccer Post. Enthusiastic and respectful. Well, gotta answer questions from someone who's enthusiastic and respectful, right? All right, Shauna, what do you got to say? How much of a boost is Pozzello's absence? I mean, he's a good player. Anyone would miss a player of his caliber. Let's go. TFC versus Inter Miami. Let's go. Let's see some fireworks here. How about that? How about a big game? See, 10 minutes in already. We got 64% possession. Here we go. Felipe on the far side. Sends in a corner to Villalba. Oh, that should have been a goal, my man. I mean, their defense was incredibly lackluster on that attempt, and Villalba just missed it. Here's Mendez. Sends in a free kick to Birnbaum. Heads it on. Off the crossbar. Sario forced to clear it. Mendez keeps it in on the sideline, and we're going to reset the attack. We are in the grays, by the way. Toronto FC, of course, in the reds. Birnbaum with his 6th yellow card of the season. We did have one of our defenders get suspended a couple of games ago for yellow cards, but he's back. Here's another corner. Far side, Felipe sends it in. Can't get it to Villalba. Mendez. All right, boys. We're getting close. Let's give them the old concentrate. Toronto's been inspired, and our guys are overwhelmed. Our guys always overwhelmed by concentrate. How? Wow. Wow, the half is over. 62% possession. Latif Blessing's been booked. TFC 1 shot. 38% possession. Yeah, we're sort of killing them. I guess we'll lean in to our possession style, and we'll do slightly shorter passes. See how that works. Let's go back to the pep talk. Let's see. Players are in good spirit and keen to take instructions. Okay. Unlucky boys. Just haven't gone right for us so far. We've been the better team. Let's be passionate and say we've been the better team. Let's go. Sean Johnson is happy about it. He's got yet another shutout brewing. So that would be outstanding if he could keep that in place. I think that would put him at top of the league if he gets a shutout here. Let's see our first highlight of the second half, 46 minutes. So an early highlight in the second half. Villalba has it near midfield. He's harassed there, drops it to Mendez with Shaq Moore. Got our Segundo Volante wide open in the middle of the field if one of you jokers wants to pass it to him. Nope. Villalba boots it forward. He's done with all this. Carranza behind the defense. Off the post. Okay. Gallardo's getting too much space. Okay, we'll close him down. How are we looking? We're fine. Pellegrini's at 80%. Shaq Moore's been booked. Okay, ease off tackles. Mendez not playing terrific. Villalba likewise not playing terrific. Okay, they're moving Latif Blessing around. They're trying to get him more involved. So that's good. They've moved Laurent Simon. The old man's back in the lineup. 35 years old. Set him at right back. Moved Latif Blessing up to right wing. Wow. Wow, 0-0. What a game. I think we might have to change to better highlights than what we're looking at right now, because this looking at minimal highlights is just, it's not even minimal highlights. It's like one step up from that. What is it? It's been so long since I've looked at it. It's like, you know what I'm talking about. It's not working is what it is. But anyway, we had 16 shots to their 2, 61% possession to 39. Not a great game, but you know what? We got the draw. I think you can sympathize with them. Unlucky. Whoops. I don't know what I just checked. You weren't good enough today, is what I said, and they were fired up about it. So, okay, take that. None of your sympathy. I didn't mean to be harsh, but apparently I was harsh. Inter Miami misses a chance to win. We absolutely did. I turned the possession down a little. Went for more controlled passing, and we just sort of passed away. It just killed that game. Let's see. All right. Let's get to the competition. Check out our stats now that we've got that game. So we're now 3 points back from Atlanta United. 1 game, 1 win is all we need to draw even with Atlanta United, so that's good. But that's not really what we want to look at. We want to look at stats, right? Stats. Let's go with team overview first. And here we are. 3rd place in goals scored. 33 goals in 17 matches. That's pretty good. Only LAFC and Atlanta United have scored more. 37 for LA, 38 for Atlanta. Also on the list, Seattle, LA, Minnesota, San Jose, Portland. So a lot of the top teams and a lot of Western Conference teams, interestingly enough. A lot of goal scoring going on in that Western Conference. Most heading is Vancouver. That's fine. Cincinnati, Philadelphia, Nashville. These are not some of the top teams in the league, so that's interesting. The heading is really not that important, apparently. Anyway, best average possession, Inter Miami, first in the league at 57%. So you can see what we're doing here. We are possessing the ball. We're shortening the game. And we're just sort of, we're just sort of dominating everybody. I'm not sure what's happening. Best tackling completion, Inter Miami, number 1 yet again. Followed by Atlanta United. So top 2 teams in the league are tackling very efficiently. So you combine that with possession. Atlanta United 3rd in the league, Miami 1st. San Jose is also one of the top teams. They're 2nd in the league in possession. So possession seems to be the way to go. Seems to be dominating the league this year. We'll see if that trend continues. But so far the top teams are possessing and tackling. There's San Jose 5th in the league in tackling. Least concessions, of course, Inter Miami. 9 goals allowed in 17 matches. That's how you do it. You want to win games? You don't allow goals. That's pretty good. And look who's number 2, TFC. So we just ran into sort of a wall, a brick wall there in Toronto FC. They've only allowed 12 goals in 17 games. New York City and Atlanta United are tied with 13 allowed. So you can see Atlanta United 1st in goals scored, tied for 3rd in goals allowed, and we're up there as well. So it's just shaping up to be another dominant season. Most shutouts, Inter Miami. That was our 10th shutout on the season. A 0-0 draw shouldn't count as a shutout, but I guess it does. 17 games, 10 shutouts. That's pretty good. That's more than goalkeeping right there. That is, philosophy. That is team defense, team philosophy. We're doing it with possession. I mean, we do have a good goalkeeper. We do have good defense, but there's other factors going on there. Most fouls, look at that. We're tackling well, but we're tackling smart. We are not on the most fouls list. FC Dallas, number 1, with 256 fouls in 18 matches. That's pretty good, boys. Way to be aggressive. Best passing accuracy, we're 2nd. Miami is 1st. 82% passing for Miami, or for Atlanta United, 81% for Miami. Killing it. Passing, possession. It's all coming up Millhouse over here. Best crossing completion. We don't really cross the ball. We sort of work it around. We do shoot a lot of shots, long shots, as opposed to crossing it in. So our percentage there is not very high. But look at Vancouver, 25%. That's an enormous crossing rate. Usually it's like the top in the league is like 15%. So I don't know. Maybe Sports Interactive turned up the crossing a little bit and made that more effective. I don't know. Atlanta United, 22%. Minnesota, San Jose, Cincinnati. Nashville is up there in 8th. That's pretty good. Shooting accuracy, we are not on the list. So we do shoot the ball a little bit too much, perhaps. Should maybe work it into the box, but I don't know. I don't want to mess with a good thing right now. New York City, number 1 at 48%. Where are they at in the goals scored? They are not on the list. Montreal, Atlanta United. So only Atlanta United of the top 3 in accuracy are actually there in goal scoring. So how important is shooting accuracy? It's a big question right there. Is volume more important than accuracy? I guess it depends on how you play, but so far it seems like volume is panning out. Well, there's LAFC 4th. See Seattle. Are we the outlier here? No, Seattle. LA, Minnesota. There's LA. There's Minnesota. So maybe it's just us. Maybe we're the outlier. Us and... yeah, just us. Okay. So take all those conclusions. Throw them out the window. It's us. We're the problem. It's not you. It's me. Is there anything else we want to see in stats before I leave, before I descend into my own madness? Let's see. Player overview. How about that? Top goal scorer, Fafa for Orlando City. We felt his wrath in previous games. Joseph Martinez, of course, up there. Carranza, look at that. 3rd in the league in goal scores at age 21. He's got 11 goals. We saw that. He's tied with Gonzalo Martinez of Atlanta United. So they got 2 of the top 4 goal scorers on their team. That's pretty good. Most assists, Alejandro Romero Gamara of New York Red Bull is number 1. 7 assists, tied with Severino of Orlando. Dylan Powers of LA. Carlos Vela, 5th in the league with 5 assists. Seems like not a lot of assists going on here for the number of goals scored. Is it me or is that what's happening? So the top goal scorers, 13, 12, 11. It's not that far off. It's okay. I got to remember it's mid-season point. We only played 17 games. So 7 assists in 15 appearances is pretty good. We'll allow it. How about that? Distance run. Saeed Haji of San Jose running all over the joint. 21 years old, of course. João Plata at 29 running all over the place. And then a lot of sort of younger fellas there. None of our guys are on the list. We're not quite running around as much as usual because we don't have that box-to-box midfielder. Honestly, that's what really racks up the mileage is when you have a box-to-box midfielder on your team. Let's see. Most tackles, Igor Lachinsky, or most key tackles. Oh, Igor Liknovsky. I've been totally mispronouncing this guy's name. I don't know what. I was not reading his name. I was just, pretending I knew what his name was. Anyway, Liknovsky. How about that? Sure. For Sporting KC. 19 key tackles. That was a lot of effort for a stat that people don't really care about. Least conceded, Sean Johnson and Alex Horvath. The 2 expansion team goalkeepers have only allowed 9 goals. Now, Horvath has only done it in 9 appearances. Johnson in 17. So I would say that gives us the edge, right? We got quite a few games on Horvath. Let's see. Matt Van Okel. That's an interesting name. 10 allowed in 9 games. Jake Gleason, Cirilo Saucedo. A lot of new names. Goalkeepers here at the top of the list. Clement Diop. I think that's pronounced Jop. Anyway, for Atlanta United, only 13 allowed. Jonathan Klinsmann, Maxime Crepeau. There's a guy who got a stat boost He's been playing well. And he got himself a little bit of a stat boost. 13 reflexes, 12 aerial reach. He's got some good physicals, good mentals. He's got 3 caps now for Canada. Good for him. He is also injured, though, and on the disabled list, so see you later. Most shutouts, of course, Sean Johnson with 10 shutouts in 17 games. Matarrita, most tackles, 7.5 tackles a game. That seems excessive, but, I guess that's what fullbacks do, right? Daniel Lovitz, 7.25 per game. Aaron Herrera, 7. Reggie Cannon's up there. We don't have anybody up there. We're more of a team tackling unit. We don't really tackle individually. Most dribbles, this is an odd one. Pellegrini and Reyna, both up there in dribbles per game. 5.5 dribbles per game. Whatever the heck that means. Jackson Ewell, most key passes. We don't have anyone on the list. Roldan is up there. Perea. Valeri. Hey, Huang Inbom is up there. 2 assists, 39 key passes for the Korean national. And then Jesus Medina, number 1 at hitting the target. Carlos Vela's up there. Martinez, of course. Sure. Fun stuff. I don't know there's much else we need to look at. We can look at squad dynamics. I don't think we've checked out this all year long. But, of course, when you're on a big winning streak like we are, everybody's going to be happy. Locker room atmosphere, good. Leadership support, excellent. Team cohesion, good. Check out the hierarchy. We still don't have an overall team leader, but we do have 5 highly influential players. So I assume one of these guys is going to make it up to a team leader next year. If they're still on the team. I assume, it'll be Martins or Birnbaum, maybe both of them, captain and assistant captain. We'll see what Villalba does more, all that kind of stuff. Everybody supports me except for 4 players. Pellegrini, Carranza, Amaya, and Martinez. That's weird. 4 youngsters. Usually the youngsters are the first to support you. Maybe because I'm not playing them as much as I would in normal saves. Anyway, it's good. Hierarchy is good. Social groups, it's fine. We're a little bit split up at the moment, but, a lot of these guys were brand new this offseason. So we'll worry about getting them in groups later, do some team building. Connor Shanosky is alienated and slightly unhappy. Feeling alienated due to dissatisfaction with playing time. Sorry, buddy, but you are an absolute reserve of the highest order. You're not starting. I don't care how much you feel alienated. You're on the bench, buddy. Like it and love it. All right, that's it. We're going to end it there. Mid-season review. Everything is hunky-dory. No problems whatsoever. Is that boring? Is that a problem that we're just sort of cruising through the league with an expansion team? This isn't our expansion season, but still. We'll see what sort of trials and tribulations we have in the second half, and we'll come back definitely for the U.S. Cup against Orlando City. So, till then, until next time, we'll see you later. Bye-bye.